Hey everybody, this is bigedude. Hi, I have 1 hour to get as many points and money in the bank as I can. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, start it. Alright, so that's what's going on. I love you guys, and I'm gonna do this for a couple days here because I'm not here right now. I'm not home. I'm just not here. And you know where I am? I'm in Washington, D.C. being awesome with some awesome people at Playlist Live, and it's just way cool. So my goal was to do something that was entertaining for a couple of days, you know, and to work on this, talk about random stuff, whatever pops into my head, you know, which happens all the time, and then just grind to see how many points we can get in an hour. We started with 46.74. Let's write that down now, because that's what we want to do. I'm like, oh, look at that guy. That guy's cheating. It's a SummerSlam Pro. I don't like that. I don't like that up. Tabasco sauce. Why are you on my computer table? Oh, it's because I had something that I like to have during the summer, and I realized I hadn't had them at all during 2016, and that is White Castle cheeseburgers from the freezer to my belly. And, you know, it's like this tradition started about 6-7 years ago when it was summertime, and I was just shopping, and I saw a whole case of them. Like, you know, you get the one little box, it's got the 3 sets of 2 in there. This case had 12 sets of 2, and I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. And so I bought it. And then every summer I had it at least once. You know, during the years, sometimes here and there I'd eat it more than once. But always during the summer. And always put hot sauce on it. Because it's so good. So, here I am, you know, shopping with my buddy Chris after he had closed his bar. You know, it was like 3 something in the morning the other day. You know, about a week ago now from here. Wait, oh, okay, we gotta use this. And, you know, it's just one of those things. Like, we're shopping and stuff, and we went through the freezer section and said, oh my god, I gotta get this. Oh my god. And so I did, and it was yummy, and I was happy about it. Now, I will probably be farting. But the good news is it won't be on camera because this happened a few days ago. But anyways, the whole reason I decided to do this grind festival is because if everything goes the way it's supposed to, there's currently a PCC going on. And I can only imagine that for the SummerSlam cards, that this first PCC would be amazingly brutal. Because, you know, that RTG for Finn Balor was brutal. And I think if people see how high those stats are, you know, 12,000, 11,000, 13,000 on some of those things, people are going to go for this stuff. Okay? People are going to go, oh, hi, Big Cass. What's up? So, I said, what's something that we can do that I could just actually play, that I didn't have to worry about time stuff, and I could just do some really good, long content for everybody that likes to grind to PCCs and you know, and likes to watch me for a long time. I said, I can do a Money in the Bank grind because I can just do that and then do that some more, recharge, lather, rinse, and repeat it. Okay? So that is what I'm doing. I'm just sitting here talking to you awesome people, and I hope that some of you really like this, and I hope that, well, actually I hope all of you like it, you know, that's just what I do. I just hope that this helps you grind, you know? So, let's talk about something that's really on my mind. Rockstar Duck. You know, he's had a hard time lately, just, you know, he's kind of down. You know, his finger's been hurting because he's playing the guitar too darn much, going on tour, You know, he went on tour last summer, or last, was it last summer, I think? Oh my gosh, the Mr. Bacon Rockstar Duck Tour has been a full year, people. That is a full year. That's amazing. You know, and they went all over the place, and you guys told me where they went. You should tell me if they went on tour in your neck of the woods in the comments below, because I'll still be looking at those comments when I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? But here we are. We are almost 3 matches done in about 6 minutes' time. Six minutes is, yes. Some good English there, buddy. Can you smack your lips? I can. So right now, I have 54 minutes, and I'm talking. So basically, I get one every 2 minutes. Abouts. Get it? Abouts. I don't have to worry about the, oops, I know. Well, let's fill. We're gonna fill them. Look at all them credits. 79, 75 of those were mine. Originally. I think that, you know where the other ones came from. And I'm very thankful. Let's do this some more. We are doing this. And you know what's also cool is like this will help level up the Finn Balor. If you're looking at this Finn Balor and his stats are way higher later, he's only level 4 right now, which is just kind of cool. You know? Going back and forth. Going back and forth. Yeah, buddy. 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 What should that that should be the country Yeah Buddy song. Hey. Hey, right now, I want you to say, I am happy to yourself. See? And if you aren't happy about something, let me just say, it happens. You know? Some of the things I do when I'm not happy, is I try to, well, first off, I'm happy a lot. You know, most of the times. Like 99.999999999999% or something. Alright, maybe just 99%. But anyways, lots of time. Because I am living a life that I want to live. You know, I'm living a life that I love music, and so I worked hard to become a music teacher. I thought that would be a really cool career. And it has been a really cool career. And then I just decided, you know, when I started YouTube, I said, you know, I just want to make people happy and to play music, but I wanted people to watch. I wanted people to watch me and have fun. And the problem with that is if they're not watching you, they can't watch you and have fun. You know what I mean? So I learned about like how, you know, in 2012, they learned this at VidCon actually, all of the way that they did the views and stuff. Like I would make videos that would get a bunch of views and stuff, and then they would get more views because that's how, you know, views became more views. That's how things work. And then 2012 came around and they switched it to watch time. And it took a while because people didn't realize that's what, you know, was really the biggest thing, the shift in the algorithm as far as how channels get more promotion and that sort of thing. And my buddy Johnny Rillen was making all these man boob pranks, and they were long, and we always used to pick at them because we were always told, you know, you really shouldn't have a video more than 3.5 minutes long, probably, you know. And then we found that everything changed, and he was ahead of the game because his videos were super long, and people liked him because they were you know, the chat roulette, Omegle things. This is when you know, that was very, very, very popular. This was a few years ago, and so like he just knew everything that was going on. It just like, and my buddy Alex, you know, YGO. You know, it's funny. I'm going to talk a little bit about us three. What a tremendously different array of people. You have Johnny Ridland was a former wrestler. He did amateur wrestling. He actually was in the ring with against Luke Rowan in the Independents. I'm not Luke Rowan. I'm mixing the two guys up. Eric Rowan in the Independents, and he's just had a history. He's known some people that have done very well in the business, and and he loved. We all met on Blog TV. Alex, Young Gary Oak, myself, and Johnny Ridland. We met on Blog TV, and it was just funny because you would just imagine like you now, or imagine Kamcord, where there's definitely a sense of community and family, but it's just instead of games, it's just you talked about whatever, you now took over. What Blog TV was. They kind of merged, but it was really, they just bought them out, pretty much. And it's just interesting because we're such very, very, very different backgrounds. Alex was a pretty great athlete in high school, and that's when we met him. He was still in high school. He was finishing his career in high school, and it was around. I probably met him, April, May of 2009, where I saw him. Basically, I was doing a charity show for somebody that you may or may not be aware of, Lacey Green. And, I was just playing the guitar, singing some song, making up some stuff, and telling everybody they're awesome. Basically the same stuff I do now, but just with a guitar and singing. And reading the chat and just having a blast, and I was on co-host and stuff, and he was in the chat at that point, and then that's how I think he visited my stream at one point, and then I visited his stream, and same thing. Blog TV was really great about promoting people, and people would just visit each other's streams and see what was up, because it was about who you were and what you did, and what I did, I improvised music, and I talked about stuff. I sang and I played guitar and piano, and I back then, that site was definitely you were supposed to be 18 plus. You couldn't even make an account unless you were 16, without very, very serious repercussions. Well, anyway, so I swore a lot on there, and anything that they put in the chat, I would just go with. It was pretty interesting. But the funny thing is like, us three, Johnny, Alex, and myself, we met at the first VidCon in 2010, and like in real life. And we hung out the whole time. And it's just amazing how different that we three are. Alex, I consider, he's like probably my best friend right now, because we talk about all sorts of stuff every day. And just motivate each other to, do cool stuff. Like, and that was the thing that was like Johnny, like 3 years ago, Johnny Ridland was doing a lot of stuff on YouTube, and he was by far the most successful out of all of us. He had 40,000 subscribers. And at that point, I think I had, 3 years ago, I had 3 years ago, I had 9,000. Over 9,000! And Alex had about 20,000, I want to say, on his first account. And it's amazing, like, we, at one point, I was barely making videos. I was too busy partying and hanging out and just meeting people and just real world stuff, no internet stuff. I'd make a song here and there, and sometimes they, blow up and stuff, and that sort of thing. Like 2009, Bok Chicken happened. Just out of nowhere, really. And it was just, and it's just funny. Ooh, that's a neat little glitch. And we always just had each other's back, And I am, while I'm at Playlist this time, like Johnny didn't make it to Playlist last year because he had to work, the Playlist DC. For me, it's the best one to go to because the plane ride from Syracuse to DC is less than an hour and a half long, and that includes taxi and runaway. You know, my return flight home is an hour and 22 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's cool. People can come to my end of the woods and, you know, the Northeast and hang out. But I'm going to lean back and just tell the stories. But, you know, it's just, and then nowadays, Johnny, we've tried to help him make more videos and stuff, but at some point, sometimes you can just get burnt out. He has an actual real job where he builds, you know, like windows for houses and stuff like that. He has quality control and does other things. But he's on his feet all day, so he doesn't really, like, I don't know if he doesn't have the desire or the energy or just want to do stuff. Like, he enjoys his Snapchat filters, and he's awesome, you know. I don't know if we'll ever really see another YouTube video of him again, but we're always going to be supportive of him if he does, you know. Because there's something that we've learned, well, that I've learned along the way, is that you really can't make anybody do anything. You can suggest and suggest and show and tell and help, but ultimately it comes down, and this is something that you can use for your life. I can show you a door. Somebody else can show you a door. Anybody else can show you, hey, there's that door. You go through this door, then stuff will happen. Maybe good stuff, probably great stuff. But you're going to keep walking in open doors. I can't make you go through that door. You know what I mean? I can only show you the door. This is from the Matrix. You're the one that has to open it. You know what I mean? I can only show you the door. I think that's Morpheus that says that. But, you know, and I know that there's ups and downs with YouTube. You know, like a lot of people we know, you know, that have been doing this grind for a lot. Like, people that back in 2010 were doing full-time YouTube and were making full-time YouTube money. You know, a lot of those channels, some of them, they've kind of fallen off because, you know, it just has. You know, it's people come and go. People change. And that's one of the things that I'm just happy that you're all here watching this game that I've been playing for 2 years now. You know? There's no way I would have thought that it was going to last that long. I thought I'd be playing all sorts of other stuff, and that's why I love to play other games. Let me just check to make sure I'm recording. I love to play games, you know? And I think that's what's one of the things that is going to help this channel keep growing for years and years, because I don't want to just play one game. You know, I love WWE, I love wrestling, I love all this stuff. Yeah, it's fun. But that's why I love the contests and the giveaway things, because I'm playing more games, and just you see this true joy of, I just love to play games, even if they're not great, even if they're bad. A game can be wicked fun, you know. I always love playing games, you know. I always finding the fun in everything, you know. I can make a game out of anything, and it's just way fun. I remember at one of my first job interviews for teaching. It was for my, I want to say it was for my second job, because my first job that I had was only a 1-year maternity leave gig, and it was in this interview. I was asked the question, why should we hire you? Which I don't know if you're supposed to answer, but, you know, I told them why, and, well, they hired me. But I was asked, you know, you've got 36 graders that are just not paying attention, they're being unruly. What do you do? I go, I probably just go at the top of my lungs and go, Day-o! And then they'll probably be shocked, you know? And I actually did this with this group of kids, because they were actually pretty rough. And just look at them and like, you know what's next? Like, even if you're like, I mean, you know what's next. Day-o! Day-o! And I go, yeah! And then, I just showed them my goofy side. And basically what I said was, I would distract them and trick them into learning. And that's what I've been doing for 20 years, There's some days where the kids are just not going to have it. They're just not going to have it. They don't care. It's like, let's say, for one of the examples is like, a day where it really could have been a snow day, and it just wasn't, and they didn't even delay, and, or there was a storm that's coming later, and, just all sorts of little things that can happen in a teaching environment. But, it's like, and that's one of the things I love about teaching. And people ask me all the time, if you were making, all this money, YouTube money, like, would you quit teaching? And I'll be honest, I don't know. Like, I'm just about to enter my 20th year as a teacher. I love it, but there's some hassles involved, like with paperwork and changing educational landscapes, treating music as something that is more like English sometimes. These are things that I don't care for and that have happened. But me talking about it's not going to do anything, But I'd love to be in a position where if I were to not really want to teach anymore, that if I had enough money from the YouTube or from other sources, I've saved a lot of money because of the amount. I live by myself. I own my own house. I have been very good with my money because there was a time in my life where I wanted to be good with my money, but I couldn't be. But, I have no debts. I don't owe anything to anybody, which is amazing at 42, so I've been saving up, and, at some point, your money, once you've saved up enough, the interest really works for you. I mean, imagine saving up enough money right now. Let's say you're 15 and you start saving now, and and then in 15 years, maybe you've saved up so much that the money that you got is earning interest and doing other stuff and dividends from like stocks and stuff, and or let's just say different cryptocurrencies that have what is called proof of stake. So like you have this amount and then it grows in interest, and there's that whole cryptocurrency thing is fascinating. Like secure digital money that doesn't have a bank, no central bank. Like I sent Bitcoin and Ethereum today to two people from different parts of the world. It was pretty cool, and it was done in 10 seconds. I like that, It's cool. But anyways, and that's why I like being able, I like to look at analytics, I pay attention to the people that watch this channel, and how you see your demographics as of yesterday, and I check it like once a week to see how things are. 90% of my audience is male, so if you're looking for some fun stuff, and you're a dude, hey, this is probably a good place for you. Okay, yeah, there's 10% of the women are that have put their sex as a woman. It might be lower than that, just people on their mom's accounts and stuff, which has happened. But and I see that the majority of the people that watch me are younger, like junior high schoolers, like, and then you go to the next one, the 18 to 49 bracket, and that's where 90% of my viewers are, is that highly sought after demographic or whatnot, and that's just really cool, and I pay attention to that, and and it's amazing. Like something that my dad and I used to love is just seeing where all the people's viewership came from, and how we had like 50 countries or 100 countries for every video were watching us, and it was just amazing. And that's something that I've always been amazed by, you know, because I just talk to the camera, you know, on top of the Powerade Zero bottle, and you know, play the games and talk about words and whatever I'm thinking of at the time. It's almost really like a vlog, really. And then I just put it on the internet, and then people have been watching. You know, part of it was I knew how to use keywords. I had 6.5 years of YouTube experience before this game came out. I knew right away when I first saw, I remember just looking for videos on this game. It's like, oh, geez, I wonder who's got tips and stuff. Like, because I dabbled in some gameplay, but I was still mostly, you know, hanging out at the bar, even though I had quit drinking, you know, for health reasons, really. But, you know, that was where my social life was. And then I just remember that the day it came out, I remember seeing that there was a game coming out. And then I remember the day after, I was like, oh, wait, I was going to check out that game. And then I told my buddy who loves, and like everybody, you know, when you first start playing, it's like crack, dude. It's so much fun. You just play, and you just enjoy it. And you know, and I told my dad about it plenty of times before. You know, he thought it was just really cool that I was doing well with it. You know, he didn't want to play this game. And then, you know, after a while, like when I showed him how to do it and how to record it, dude wanted to play. He thought it was amazing that in the video that we made, in one of those first ring nominations, that, you know, it had 20 to 30,000 views or something. He just thought that was amazing. And, you know, we like to be noticed. I don't know, it's nice when you're noticed for good stuff. And you all know that what happened with his YouTube career. You know, he had a pretty good time there, playing games he wanted to play. You know, like I don't think he subscribed to anybody other than myself, because I think I subscribed to me for him. But he might have subscribed to a couple other people like Alex and Johnny. But, you know, and as I keep tangenting on stuff, I've always just thought that, you know, myself, Johnny, and Alex, I thought maybe someday we could all have like 1 million subscribers, and we could have a house and we just hang out, or, you know, live on the same block, or something stupid like that, because we're so different, but we've had so many great goals that are the same. Like, but as I was saying, like 3 years ago in 2013, Johnny was really doing a great job, and Alex and I were barely making videos. Barely. Like, I don't think Alex had really come back. He was still touring with bands and stuff. And it's just amazing, like, how much things have changed in just 3 years. Like, now, you know, Alex has had a lot of success, like holy crap success, and I've had holy crap success for me. You know, I'm 42. I'm like I'm 42. Johnny's 32 or 33, and Alex is 25, and we're just so different. You know, I've been doing the same job for almost 20 years, being a music teacher. I was talking to Alex about this the other day. It was like, dude, I started teaching when you were 6. And he's like, what? I was like, yeah, I've had, you know, the same career, and that's just amazing when you think about it. And but now, you know, like and I love Johnny Ridley, and I love Alex, and I just want the best for both of those guys. I do worry about Johnny, because I don't think he wants to make YouTube videos like ever again. You know, I don't know why that is. He was doing so well at it, and then just kind of, he either got burnt out or just didn't want to do it anymore, or he felt because he got a real job that he shouldn't do it anymore. I guess, I don't know, but he still like makes things. He did some really great legendary performances. right after we got back from VidCon, and then he kind of just stopped again, which is, I love the guy, and I know that all of you would love him too. But you know what? And that's the thing. It's like, you can't force people into doing stuff, even if you know they'd be great at it. You just can't force people to do what they don't want to do. Even if they kind of know that you're right. Everybody has like a freedom of choice. Everybody has there's ways that, like, if you're a parent, it's easier because you can threaten more or something. But with your friends, there's a lot of different choices that you'll make in your lives that could either benefit you or really hurt. Hurt by death, jail, ridicule, be a social pariah. There's just a lot of choices that you're all going to have to make in life. And I hope that you make the best educated, best choice. Now, some of those choices will involve, that. Will involve an oops. Okay. Did I just hit the button again? Okay. We're good. And it's just, sorry about that. You're going to have choices that you're going to make in life that may seem like a great idea at the time, but down the road, you're going to realize, wow, maybe that didn't turn out the way it could. What can I do next time if that or something like that comes up to, not make that be a negative thing? And sometimes it's just circumstances like the economy. Sometimes it can be relationships, like something goes bad, so opportunities are missed. Like I keep saying to myself that, if I was never single, there would be no way I'd be doing have a YouTube career, or a side career. Maybe someday it would be, I make more than I do teaching from this stuff. And it's possible, just from the sheer growth that we had 2 years ago. And it's just, down the road. Think about it. 3 years ago, I was barely making any videos. I didn't do a vlog or anything from WrestleMania 29. I didn't record any of that. I recorded like a 10-second thing in my buddy that I was going to upload to YouTube, but I never did. It was just because he was so happy that I took Chris to WrestleMania. That was like his birthday and Christmas present, because his birthday's in November. But and that was a really awesome experience. And we went to Raw the day after we saw Dolph cash in and win, and I patted Roman Reigns on the side, and some of you have found it on the WWE Network when you see me go which is basically what happened. But it's amazing. Time is a wonderful thing. Okay, and that's one of the reasons why, like, when you ask for me to check out your videos and stuff, I don't view it as a chore. I view it as one of you awesome people that watches me and learns how to make videos and stuff. One of you is going to be, at least one of you is someday going to have 1 million subscribers. It's just going to happen, because when you learn how to make the videos and you spend the time and you work and you learn how things work, and then you talk to people and you go to conventions and learn how to do stuff the best way, and you learn how to put good tags, and you learn how to interact with your fans, and you learn how to be a part of something bigger, and you learn and learn and learn and learn, and it's just amazing. The fact that I have almost 100,000 subscribers is just amazing. The fact that in 3 years from now, what could that number be? It could be way higher. Or what if something were to happen where something really bad happened? And maybe maybe we would never make it. But the whole point is, I don't do this to hit milestones. I do this because I love to do it. I love to play this game. I love to play other games. I love to talk to people. I love to just talk to this Powerade Zero bottle. But I'm not. I'm talking to you through this camera days later. And I feel great about it. And I'm so thankful that some of you have shared the wonderful experiences that you've had just because I talked to a camera on top of a Powerade Zero bottle. And so many people have credited me with whatever, the really wonderful stuff. And I'm not trying to make anything light of that. But I've always just viewed myself as one guy. I don't ever want to get full of myself. I don't ever want to be a person that focuses on subscribers or views or negative comments or hate. Because if I'm happy with what I'm doing and other people, or even a majority or a lot of people, which is a majority, as long as people are enjoying what I'm doing, then that's great. You know, I know that I may play to a younger crowd because I don't swear. I do good stuff. I'm kind of like, you know, hustle, loyalty, and respect. I'm kind of like John Cena. But, you know, even though he gets booed sometimes because people are just kind of sick of seeing him, you know, people will someday, and have already, they've gotten sick of seeing me, you know, like, oh, he's too happy. He's too this, he's too that. He doesn't cause enough drama. He doesn't want to do, because I'm not a drama guy. I just want to play the game, have fun, teach you how to play the game, and have fun. You know, I don't care about what the rankings on the cards are, because a pro can win anything. And you know, it doesn't matter if Stone Cold Steve Austin is the second best WrestleMania card. I don't even know if he is. I just said that. He might be the first one for all I know. The whole point is, oh dear. No, we're good. Okay. The whole point is, I just love the game. Now, some people love the game and just really get into the statistical analysis of it. But I know. You know, I just want to be the best person I can be. Now, let me tell you, once we get to... oh dear, did we lose? I think we lost. No, we're good. Phew! I was worried. I was worried. Alright, so, because I don't have a good chance. But, I just, what was I going to say? I forgot. Oh. Train. The train has derailed. It's something about something cool. I forgot. Darn it. It happens sometimes. I was saying something, and right now you're probably telling me what I said, and I don't remember. It was probably something about YouTube. And happiness. Oh, yeah! Probably was. I think I had it for a second and I lost it again. But yeah, like, oh, when season 3 comes around and we have the ranked play, I'll bet you I'll know a lot more of what cards are the best and how to do everything like that way, because then there'll be a ranking, and then that'll be friendly competition for all of us. And I can tell you right now, I will also be, you know, playing for free. Of course, you know what just happened, so what if, you know, who knows what, yeah, anyways, I don't plan on spending any money on the game, you know what I mean? And I'll bet you that I don't even rate in the top 100 players. Well, you know what, let's see. I probably won't rate in the top 500 players 1 week into the game. That's my guess. If I, you know, do what I say I'm going to do and stay free. Because I don't play a lot. And there's so many other people in this game that play so much more, and they're so good at this game. They can do this for hours. Like anybody that's gotten the top 10 of a PCC. Or top 5 of a PCC. Old school and new school. Like those guys are the true upper echelon. I'm never going to be one of those guys. You know, I like to not play this game. You know, I like to go places and do stuff and watch TV and I don't like to be a slave to a device. You know, and that's just a personal thing with me. I just don't like to do it. But I'm also 42 years old. I haven't had a cell phone or a smartphone most of my formative years or my life. I got my first cell phone in 2002. Yeah, it was, I was married and I got it at the state fair right before we moved downstate. It was a T-Mobile. It was small and the screen was black and white in 2002. I played Snake. Snake was fun. Snake was my jam. You know? There was no amazing things that we see, no apps, no companies devoted to apps. I mean there were companies and stuff, but they were like traded on the stock exchanges, you know, like Glue Mobile and King and Zynga and stuff like that. Whatever happened to Zynga? I used to own Zynga stock, actually. I bought it at like $3. I sold it for $5, and now it's like 2 something, or it was. I haven't checked it out in a while. You know, and the reason I held it is because I wanted them to do the real money gambling stuff, and they kind of stopped. And they said, "No, we're not going to do that." And then since, I haven't looked at their stock in years, or like a year or two. Not since Supercard, really. But, you know, it's just interesting. I'm interested in a lot of stuff, and that's something that I love. I want to learn more about as much as possible as I can. And not just about regular information. I want to learn more about how stuff feels. Like wind that's 23 miles an hour out of the south blowing you in the face while you're just looking at a storm. I want to see beauty in the sky and trees and stars and nature, and also to think about the stuff that's right in front of you. You know, goals, effort, like progress. You know, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one single step. You know, like putting my mind to something and just going for it. Like how I did that. I did that Sasha Banks PCC. I had no business trying to get that card. And you know what? I just said, you know what? Heck with this. I'm just going to try, and I'm going to focus on doing this. I put on the classical music channel on the music choice, and it just worked. It just clicked. I was just there. It was just the game, the music. I just understand how that music is put together, and just helped me just relax and focus, and that's all I was doing. And man, I was kicking some booty-os on it. You know, almost to the point where, you know, if I had decided the whole time, think about it, I could get PCC cards without putting any money into it, you know, and that's gonna be the ultimate goal, you know, so that's very good. Like, I got 2 PCC cards. The biggest trick would be to do it like Dad did it and not put any credits into it. That's my next trick. How I'm gonna do it, I have no idea, because I'll be at school very soon, and I'm just gonna have to try my best, you know, because the higher you get into a tier earlier, and that's one of the reasons why you're seeing this Money in the Bank grind, because if I can get the Randy Orton, pro it, the Brock, pro it, the KO, pro it, those 6, that's 3 extra pros, there'll be 4 total SummerSlam pros. By the time I get to that next Road to Glory in a week from whenever this is, you know, it's just going to be so much better. I'll be able to do better in those King of the Rings. I'll be able to, you know, it's an investment. You know, it's an investment in my gameplay. And you've seen the amount of credits that I have. I'm still playing with my own credits at this point. You know, once you see that lower number, you know where it is. You know. But and I don't have to do it this way. I'm just doing it this way because right now I've got time. I'm not going to play this game that much when I'm hanging out with awesome YouTube people in Washington, D.C. Because I like some of the best stories I have in my life happened last year at D.C. You know, I hung out with L.A. Beast like for a day basically, and some other people, and one of his friends that he went to Mexico with, and then his that dude's girlfriend, and we had a really awesome meal out on the water in DC almost, or like you could see the water, and we just talked about so many different things. So it's just like the whole YouTube effect, like people of all different abilities and mental stuffs and jobs and other things and just different backgrounds, just getting together, talking about something that they all know something about. You know, in this case, it was, filming and YouTubing and that sort of stuff. Like the one guy, he is awesome, and he's actually from DC. I wonder if he'll be there. I know Beast isn't because he's about to walk across the United States in October, I think, which is just amazing. You know, I saw him at Playlist Orlando briefly. Unfortunately, I didn't get to talk to him much because with the thing with Kevin, that's his real name. It's like so many people love him, and they just want to talk. And I'm just a very respectful person. I'm not gonna like continue a conversation when I see a lot of people wanting to talk to somebody else, or if they've interrupted, I'll be, I'll like nod or whatever, and that's just who I am, you know. And if you've ever gone to any of these types of conventions and stuff, it happens all the time. You know, it's like I'll catch up with you later, or everybody's got each other's information at some point, and we can always talk to each other later or something like that. But it was just because it was this unplanned, this awesome experience. It just was so cool, you know. And I'm really looking forward to amazing experiences this time in DC, and it's just gonna be great. And then I go back to teaching. But I really think that I've had the time, the mental downtime where there's some point in the summer I feel like I really didn't do anything. But I made 100 videos. I mean, 50 of them were in that playlist. That's just those, you know? And, think of how many just regular Supercard videos. I mean, summer's like 100 days long. 100 days long. No, it's not. Summer is, well, at least the point of where I left from VidCon to now. You know, there's at least, I've made at least 100 videos this summer. That's a lot, you know. Kind of cool. But, I played volleyball. I hung out sometimes. I really wanted to walk a lot more and do the Pokemon Go, but it was so brutally humid. And I see the weather right now, whenever this is, because I've seen it for a couple of days. In Utica, New York, it's like mid 70s, low 70s, which is perfect for walking. And I think in DC it's going to be like 80, 90. And I don't know, but it's just funny, you know? So maybe I'll just do more, and I will have to get back into a real schedule. And, that's all right. Because it's important to have a schedule sometimes. But with all the stresses that I had over the last year, the well-documented stresses, and I will never forget this year of videos, season 2. The severe highs, the lowest of the lows, the being stuck at the low because of all the crazy stuff going on in my life, and then just finally getting out of it, like I feel really, really cool right now making this video because I see myself progressing every single game, every single talk. It's almost 50 minutes, and if you're here, then I've done my job. I want you to write potato and cheese again, and I don't know if I should eat these because they never had an experiment, expiration date. I don't know why I was like rapping that. And these are awesome because they're from Malaysia and Singapore. But like it just doesn't show. And I can't find it. I'm looking hard. See if it's just hiding somewhere. I don't know. Maybe I can find it from the, No, probably not. I can't find it. But they're still there because I haven't thrown them out or anything. But anyways, that was what happened. But, as I was saying earlier, something that I always envision is time. You know, the people that watch me today, some of the words that I say may just strike a chord with you in your mind and your heart, and you just be like, I understand. I get what he's saying. I have a voice. That's what you're saying to yourself. I have a voice, and I can talk about things. I can play a game, or I can do stuff, and people will listen. And people will like it. And then maybe, and then, well, you know, they put ads in front of your video, so maybe you'll make some money. Maybe it'll help pay for your college. Maybe it, this, that, you know, all these, maybe something I say will help you realize you might want to make videos. Or you might want to learn how to make videos better. Or you might have taken a break from making videos, like, hey, I might have stopped making videos for a bit, for whatever reasons. Whether I wasn't getting the views that I thought I should, or it was too long and tired, or I had to focus on schoolwork or other things. Remember, YouTube doesn't care how long you've been gone. They love it when you upload a video. You know? Like, I've been making videos almost 9 years. That's amazing. It's just because I felt like I had stuff I wanted to say. Or songs I wanted to make up. Just to, you know, performance pieces, artwork. Like performance art. Musical performance art. Like improvisation. Like the Chicken on My Pizza song. I had that song in my head somewhere like 2-3 years ago, and I never just got it. It was a piano song originally. And I just said, yeah, I'm just going to do this. That day, I just said, I'm doing this. Let's do it. And, you know, it was fun. You know? It was just really fun. Was that only a week and a half ago? That can't be right. It seems like forever ago. It might not be. It might be. I'm gonna check that out. Check that out on this computer. I want to say it is. Alright, YouTube. So, are you happy? Are you grinding? Hey, you can do this. You can grind. Grindy, grindy, grind. Grindy, grindy, grind. Grindy, grindy, grind. No, that Chicken on My Pizza stuff's way further. Okay. I thought so. I was like, there's no way. Oh, I did WWE 2K and No Man's Sky. I haven't even played No Man's Sky since I did that stream. If not for any other reason, like, I'm just enjoying playing the Supercard and the Slam and just getting distracted in other things. It's just kind of funny. And that was the 21st. But what are you gonna do? Sometimes you just don't have enough time to do everything that you want, and that's when you realize that, when that just hits, it's like you will never have enough time to do everything you want. That sucks. But it's trying to do as much as you can of the stuff that you want to do, and part of the thing with that I'm happy about is, you know, I'm in a position where I have other resources You know, the one resource I'll never have enough of is time. You know, I want to make every day matter. And you know what? Sometimes you just feel that they don't. But then, because of my hobby and this YouTube stuff, sometimes I make somebody's life super, super great and different, and I don't even realize it for a while. You know, and that's why I love the comment sections, because it just is amazing how much you guys can, I mean, really enjoy what I do sometimes. And it's something I never want to take for granted. And you know what? I don't mind talking about it a lot. Or just, you know, even just acknowledging it. Because I can't even say acknowledge right now. But the whole point is, I just love this life. I love playing this game. I love that Roman Reigns just beat Apollo Crews. The fact that that matchup has never happened on WWE. These matchups happen never. Brock versus the Mr. Uso there. Jimmy. Okay, Brock would probably crush him. And he did, which is kind of funny. You know, Finn Balor versus the Ultimate Warrior. That's just so cool. He didn't Brock, though. You know? Just, it's great for just a fan. Alright, so now we have Samoa Joe versus Bebop or Rocksteady, whichever one he was. Nah, just kidding, it's Sheamus. Alright, so here we go. What do we got now? We've got this. Okay. Brock Lesnar versus the Bionic Elbow. And the Bionic Elbow wins! See? There you go. Bionic Elbow. I love the fact that I just said, you know what? I'm gonna make a couple of videos for an hour. I'm just gonna do it. You know? And there probably is gonna be one tomorrow. Because here's a little secret. Right now, it's 3:13 in the morning on Tuesday. Okay? So like Kevin Owens just won his championship not too long ago. And I'm really excited about it. I just lost again. Dang it! Poop on a donkey. Alright, so anyways, we're gonna fill all those. I've got 2 minutes and 37 seconds. Can I get 2 games in? Probably not. I know we can get 1 in. But yeah, man. I hope that you wrote Tabasco sauce earlier, because I'm gonna be looking for Tabasco sauce comments and just being like, yep, that's right, Tabasco sauce. And I would be happy that I'm in the Tabasco sauce club, because I have Tabasco sauce on my piano / computer desk. You know, it's just really funny. I'm so glad I bought this piano. I've got this piano when I was downstate. I always wanted a piano. Like, I didn't want a keyboard. I wanted a piano. And the funny thing about this piano is, like, it was an older couple. This is when I was living in Poughkeepsie. And I want to say they lived in Hyde Park. And it was $250. Which I thought was a really good deal, you know. And it's not a super good quality. In fact, I've never tuned the strings. The strings are all a half step lower, but I don't care. I loved how it worked, you know. I just really loved that it was a piano, and the amount of songs that I made on this thing, and the amount of times I've entertained myself and other people with it. I mean, that's well worth the $250, you know. Just when you think about it, how much did Don't Say That Word make, you know, over the course of the last who's he what's it's his. And it's just funny. Are you finding a way to win? We got 37 seconds. So I'm going to call it there. Actually, you know what? We're not. We're going to play one more. Because we're going to count it because I started it. It's not like the other thing where Oh, you gotta finish the match. You know what? This is bigedude rules. I say what I want. I do what I want. And you know what? I was busy looking up something for a minute. So, yeah. Ha! And also because it's gonna be a really cool round number. And you'll see why. If you've already figured it out, good job. Good job. Alright, so let's see here. And the time is up. This video is longer than an hour long. And you're now an hour older. But think about it. How many points did you get in your PCC? Or for some reason it was a Road to Glory again, or a Ring Domination again. How many shards did you get? That one's, you can't really play more. It's probably PCC. It's always PCC after this. So, I mean, think about it. I hope that it was a lot. I hope that you got, 250 points without credits. I hope that you got 500 points with credits. Just by talking and doing whatever. And, I love you guys. And it feels great. It feels great that, to me it feels great to know that I believe in myself and my abilities enough to just sit here for an hour and record whatever happens. Told some great stories about my buddies, Johnny Ridlin and Alex. And I told some really cool stories about this piano. My history on YouTube, goals, dreams, Supercard, Dad, really cool stuff. And just stories about everything. Because I just talk. And then I let the conversation kind of direct itself. And maybe, and I talk about this a lot, maybe some of it is just what you needed right this moment. Maybe it helped you get through something. Maybe it didn't. Maybe you're just like, dude, just shut up. You're so annoying. But anyways, this is where we started. 46.74. That's where we end. 1,000 Money in the Bank points in an hour. And that is where I'm ending. So, maybe a little bit more than an hour, but whatever. I just want you to know you're awesome. And you stay rocking. And I love you long time. Blink, 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 bye, bye, bye. Yeah, buddy.